My uncle walked into retirement at 62 grinning, like he pulled off a heist. No debt, no panic, no uh-oh, what now energy. My dad? Totally different story. He retired at 67, already stressed, already behind. And 8 months later, he was back doing part-time work because the math just refused to cooperate. Same family, same general income level, same kind of life. So what changed? It wasn't some magical investment trick. It wasn't lottery money. It was a few very specific goals one of them hit before leaving work, and the other one, honestly, didn't even know he was supposed to care about them. And that's the problem. Nobody hands you a retirement checklist at 35 and says, hey, before you quit, make sure these 7 boxes are checked. People just sort of wing it. They save a little, invest a little, cross their fingers, and hope retirement feels good. Hope is cute. It is not a plan. So let's fix that. If retirement is close, amazing. If it's decades away, even better, because this list can save you a ridiculous amount of stress later. Here are the 7 pre-retirement goals that matter way more than most people realize. First, you need to know your retirement number. And no, I don't mean a vague guess like probably around 2 million. I mean the actual amount of money you need invested so your money can support your life without running out. That's the target. Without it, you're just saving in fog. The easiest starting point is the 4% rule. Take your expected yearly spending in retirement and divide it by 0.4. So if you think you'll need $60,000 a year, your rough retirement number is $1.50 million. Now, if your dream retirement involves private chefs and a summer home with ocean views, we're going to need a bigger calculator. But for most people, this is the first real wake-up call. Because once you know the number, everything gets sharper. Your savings rate, your timeline, your investment choices, all of it. And please, factor in Social Security if you'll get it. Factor in a pension if you have one. Just don't build your future on vibes. That's how people end up retired and weirdly back at work 2 years later. Second, get rid of debt before you retire. All of it, if you can. Credit cards, car loans, student loans if they're still hanging around, and yes, ideally, the mortgage too. I know, somebody is already saying, but my rate is low, so mathematically I should keep it. Sure, in a spreadsheet maybe. In real life, debt is a monthly pressure point, and retirement is not the time you want extra pressure. Here's the thing. While you're working, you can usually make more money if life gets tight. Overtime, side income, promotions, whatever. In retirement, that flexibility shrinks fast. Your income is much more fixed, and every payment starts feeling louder. A mortgage, a car payment, a balance on a card, those things don't just cost money. They take up mental space. And honestly, that's expensive too. The cleanest retirement is the one where your home is yours, your car is yours, and your cash flow isn't being nibbled to death by payments every month. That peace of mind? Huge. Third, max out your tax-adventured accounts. This is where a lot of people accidentally leave serious money on the table. Your 401k, IRA, Roth, traditional, HSA, if you qualify. These accounts are powerful because they give your money a tax break while it grows. In 2026, you can put up to $24,500 into a 401k if you're under 50. If you're 50 or older, that goes up to $32,500 with catch-up contributions. For an IRA, the limit is $7,500, or $8,700 if you're over 50. And an HSA can take in up to $4,400 for an individual, or $8,700 for a family. Now, I can already hear someone thinking, Vanessa, that's great, but I'm just trying to afford groceries. Fair. Real life exists. But if you can contribute consistently, even in smaller chunks, you're giving compound growth time to do something borderline unfair. And the tax side matters too. Traditional accounts lower your taxable income now, which means you get a break today and pay taxes later when you withdraw. Roth accounts flip that around. You pay taxes up front. Then the money grows and comes out tax-free later. So the question becomes, do you want the tax hit now or later? If you're in a lower tax bracket today, Roth often makes a lot of sense. If you're earning more and your tax rate is higher, traditional can be smarter. Either way, you want to be using these accounts on purpose, not ignoring them like they're optional decorations. And if your employer offers a match and you're not taking it, that's not being conservative. That's leaving part of your paycheck behind. Don't do that to yourself. Fourth, build a diversified portfolio. Your retirement accounts are great, but they come with rules, contribution limits, penalties, age restrictions, which means you also want money in a taxable brokerage account that you can actually access when life happens. And diversified does not mean own a random pile of stuff and hope it works out. It means spreading risk around. U.S. stocks, international stocks, bonds, especially as retirement gets closer, maybe real estate, either directly or through REITs. And for most people, you do not need to become a stock picker. You do not need to obsess over market headlines. You do not need to be glued to financial TV like it's a sports final. You can keep it simple with low-cost index funds and let time do the heavy lifting. Total market funds, S&P 500 funds, broad diversification, that's often enough. The point isn't to get rich fast. The point is to build a portfolio that can actually support you later through growth, dividends, distributions, and all the boring little things that add up to real money over time. Fifth, make a healthcare plan before you need one. This one sneaks up on people and absolutely wrecks budgets. Medicare starts at 65, which sounds neat and tidy until you realize a lot of people want to stop working at 60, 62, or 63. That leaves a gap, and that gap can be expensive. Health coverage for someone in their early 60s without employer insurance can easily run hundreds of dollars a month per person, sometimes more. Then, even after Medicare kicks in, it still doesn't cover everything. You've got premiums, deductibles, and gaps in things like dental, vision, and hearing, which is very convenient timing because those are often the exact areas that start needing attention later in life. Love that for us. So what do? If you have access to an HSA, use it. Seriously. It's one of the best tools out there because contributions are pre-tax, growth is tax-free, and withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are tax-free too. That's rare. Ridiculously rare. Also, build healthcare into your retirement budget from the start. Don't make the classic mistake of budgeting for travel and hobbies and forgetting the category that can quietly become one of your biggest expenses. And if you're planning to retire before 65, you need an actual bridge plan. COBRA, marketplace coverage, a spouse's employer plan, something. Not a maybe, not a we'll figure it out, a real plan. Because healthcare doesn't just nick retirement. It can blow a hole in it. Sixth, create multiple income streams. This is bigger than Social Security, and it has to be. The average Social Security benefit right now is around $1,700 a month. That's roughly $20,000 a year, which is not exactly the retirement fantasy most people are picturing, unless they're planning to live very, very minimally. So instead of relying on one source, build a stack. Social Security can be one layer. And if you can wait, delaying benefits can increase your payment by 8% every year past full retirement age, until age 70. That's a very real guaranteed bump, and not many investments can say that. Then you've got portfolio income, dividends, interest, distributions, withdrawals from your accounts. That's another layer. Maybe rental income if real estate is part of your plan. Maybe a part-time job or a little consulting work if you actually like staying active. And a lot of retirees do. Not because they're desperate, but because they want structure, purpose, and a reason to leave the house that doesn't involve a doctor's appointment. Even $1,000 a month from a small side project is $12,000 a year. Your portfolio doesn't have to carry. That's the beauty of multiple income streams. If one wobbles, the whole retirement doesn't fall apart. Seventh, write the plan down. Not in your head, not as a mental note, on paper, in a doc, in something you can actually revisit. People who write down financial goals are way more likely to hit them, which makes sense because the second you write something down, it becomes real. It stops being a vague wish and turns into a thing with deadlines, numbers, and accountability. Your written retirement plan should cover the basics: your target retirement age, your retirement number, where your income will come from, how you'll handle healthcare, your estate documents, your beneficiaries, their spending plan, all of it. And yes, spending matters. A lot. Because retirement isn't just about not working. It's about designing the life you actually want. Do you want to travel? Stay near family? Move somewhere warmer? Garden? Volunteer? Buy an RV and take off for a year? Cool. Be specific. Because what you want your life to look like determines how much it costs. And how much it costs determines how much you need saved. It all connects. Also, review the plan every year. Life changes. Markets change. Health changes. Wants change. A plan from 5 years ago may be completely outdated now, and if your finances are messy or complicated, get a fee-only fiduciary advisor. Not a salesperson pushing products, a fiduciary. Someone legally required to act in your best interest. Good advice is usually cheaper than bad decisions. Wild concept, I know. So here's what I want you to do after this video. Don't screw. Don't disappear into the void of your phone for the next hour. Grab a note app, a notebook, whatever you actually use, and write down these 7 goals. Mark which ones you've already knocked out and which ones still need work. That gap is not a failure. It's your roadmap. And that's the whole point. I want you to retire with confidence. Not just with money, but with a plan. With clarity. With the feeling that you did this on purpose. You deserve that. And your future self is absolutely depending on the choices you make right now. If this helped, tell me in the comments which goal you're working on first. I really want to know where you're at.